Alright, we're good.
You ready now?
Yep. Fully ready to go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are back with another movie review. This is for today. We happen to watch Midway. So, yeah, we caught that today. So, I figured we'd give a quick review of our thoughts on it. And, yeah.
I thought this movie was very good. For a war movie, I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, I think it was better. Like, Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 41 or something like that. But they said the audience score was like a 91 or 94. So I figured I would check it out. I like war movies, so
Yeah,
I'm
me
always,
too.
so I always like want to try to get them, especially if they're supposed to be actually historically accurate.
I don't know if this
Which
one is actually accurate. I heard they made it as accurate as possible.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if it was 100% accurate, but then again, it's trains going by, so it's a little loud.
Every time.
Yeah. Yeah, so of course it's probably not 100% accurate because it's a movie, so they have to embellish some parts and add some parts to make it make people want to go see it, which is I can understand, because fully fiction fully factual war isn't always entertaining, but then it's not supposed to be entertaining. I mean, war is never supposed to be entertaining for any reason, but as we're talking about movies, it's just a completely different thing. So I also liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty good, better than what Rotten Tomatoes was telling people. I mean, it didn't have any really high profile actors that many. I mean, Woody Harrelson was in it. Luke Evans, who was in what was he in? Lord of the Rings. He was in.
No, he wasn't.
I'm
the
sorry.
Hobbit movies.
Yeah, he was in the Hobbit movies. Nick Jonas had a small part, which I was kind of glad. I mean, it's Nick Jonas, so you figure they're going to give this huge part, but
this young kid a chance.
Yeah, but they didn't. He was only in a very small part in the movie, which was good. Dennis Quaid was in it, so Dennis Quaid seems to show up in a lot of random movies. Especially I heard who was this? Was this Ryan Johnson? I think we directed this.
Bryan Johnson.
Yeah. So he also did The Day After Tomorrow with also had Dennis Quaid. So I don't know if because they know each other. Maybe that's why he's also in this.
No, it's Roland Emmerich that directed this, not Bryan Johnson.
I thought Ryan Johnson had something to do with this. I don't know why I thought that.
Maybe they fired him.
No, I don't think they fired him.
His story was terrible. Get out.
So, yeah, so there wasn't. I mean, there was some CGI, but it wasn't that noticeable. There was a few parts when there's a part where the plane's taking off a carrier, and that was kind of looked too much CGI. Just didn't look realistic. Yes, you have any more thoughts on this?
I mean, I just think it's crazy, during. Wait, are we doing the spoiler free?
Yeah, we can talk spoilers. It doesn't matter.
Right. I think it's cool though when the scene at the end where, the Japanese, they're firing all the bullets at the planes and they're coming down, and it looks like they're gonna crash right into them, but then they release the bombs and then the whole ship explodes. And, I think that's pretty. I mean, especially that this actually did happen. I understand how these soldiers can do that and how brave that is. I mean, to risk your own life destroying an enemy, and yet the guy, what's his name? He destroyed like 3 carriers in one day.
Richard Bass.
Yeah, I think that was him. It's just crazy of how he did that. I mean, the real guy too. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if any of these people are around anymore. I mean, but it's just cool their bravery. I mean, to almost kill themselves trying to, save your country from a foreign enemy. I mean, that's I don't know how they did that. I mean,
it was
bullets firing anywhere. I mean, you could get shot right on the spot. I mean, it's like the Normandy invasion. I mean, look at all the soldiers, United States, the UK, and the Allies. I mean, they stormed the beaches. I mean, some of them didn't even get off the boat. They just got shot and killed right there.
Yeah.
It's just crazy though of how incredible, they were flying and bombing the Japanese carriers and risking their lives doing it for the United States. It's crazy, but I think it was a good story they put together to tell and to show like what it was like um, of when this happened. I mean, and it was the turning point during World War II. I mean, I don't know what would have happened if the Americans lost. I mean, they were close to losing, but they won in the end.
Yeah, I mean, there was a big battle during that time. It was like supposedly like the one that kind of helped turn the tide in the war. I mean, I know that part they talk about the Doolittle raid. I know that had a big part in it, but this was it was supposed to be a really major battle.
Yeah, and
It is amazing that if the way they depict it in some of these movies, especially this one, that this is actually how it happened. I mean, the amount of bravery these guys had was it was unbelievable. I mean, you just say they show all the traits of fire trying to dodge all that, and these guys, some of them just get shot down immediately. I mean, I can't imagine what that must have been like for the real
yeah,
people who to go through that and sacrifice all the everything for the country.
yeah,
Knowing
it's
what they're about
crazy.
to fly into. I mean, you're going against
And I and
a
I think
Japanese fleet like
and I
that.
think it's also cool when they how they showed both sides of this. Like they show the Japanese side of how they're planning to attack America. Then they're showing the United States trying to figure out how they can destroy the Japanese, and but yet there was also disagreement with the intelligence
Yeah,
because well, I don't think it was I think it was the military. Like the military didn't believe the top intelligence guy kept saying, okay, well, the Japanese are going to attack us at point whatever it is time at 45 degrees north. And then when it all happened, the guy looked at the whatever the intelligence guy's name is. He's like, look, you're only off by like 5 minutes or whatever, and
yeah, 5 minutes,
But
5 miles, something like
yeah,
that.
but I think I understand why they disagree with the U.S. intelligence over that. I don't. Maybe it's because they didn't see the Japanese coming when they bombed Pearl Harbor. I mean, because back then, they didn't have the technology to see who was flying in and out. They didn't have that sort of technology like they do today,
Yeah, they have
where
radars, but they were like just at the beginning,
and the
when they first invented them.
and
So,
the military thought it was American planes coming from somewhere, but
yeah. So, anyways, overall, I mean, there was what was the guy's name? Ed Screen was the guy who played the main character. I did he did an, a decent job. There were times I think he could have shown more emotion,
yeah,
given this circumstance. I mean, there's one part where his roommate gets killed, and I mean, yeah, he looked kind of sad, but I mean, if you were supposed to be this close, I think you could have shown a little bit more emotion,
yeah,
stuff like that. I mean, it really where they don't really, I don't know. Sometimes that bothers me in movies where something's just really sad. I mean, you can tell it's like, you should be more upset than that, Um, but yeah, that maybe that's just me. I mean, I think he rather could have done a better job as far as that goes. But overall, as a main lead in the movie for the most part, I think he did a decent job of playing the character. I think overall they did, mostly the actors and actresses did a decent job in the movie. It was just that one thing that kind of bothered me where he didn't quite show enough emotion about somebody getting killed that he's supposedly close to. Again, like the effects were really good. Just again, I always go back to these guys who are real people, and if the way to depict it is actually how it was, it blows my mind that you, especially being a pilot, it's just you're in a small group of guys in separate planes, and there's a pretty high probability that you're going to get your plane's going to get shot down, especially when you're going against an entire fleet like they did with the Japanese. That's just unbelievable. I mean, Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, but they didn't really have much of it. They didn't have much worry about getting shot down because they took the Americans by such surprise. But the Japanese were on battleships and carriers and stuff like that. So they didn't really have to do much to be prepared for an attack. They always thought that at any time now the Americans could attack, but even though they kind of catch them by surprise. Yeah, so I liked it. I thought it was really good.
I agree with you. It was a fantastic movie. I would go back and watch it a second time if I could. I think that's how good it was.
Yeah, I think it was. I thought it was pretty good, better than what they said they were going to be. I always like watching movies that always check out Rotten Tomatoes or whatever beforehand. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're right, and sometimes they're wrong. This one they said, oh, it's not that good. And even some of the critics who wrote on said, it was a terrible movie. The effects were really bad. This was bad. I mean, I didn't think that at all. I thought it was a decent movie. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. I mean, but it was good though. I mean, I don't know if I would see it, pay to see it again. I would definitely watch it if it was on Netflix or on DVD or Blu-ray, whatever.
I agree.
But overall, the acting was good. The effects were good. They weren't. It wasn't too much. They didn't just really show one character. Kind of showed different points of view. And there was also I also noticed that I almost forgot about this. They showed almost like the humanity of the Japanese. They showed from their point of view as well.
I addressed that.
So I thought it was good how they showed like them, almost like they're sometimes when they were confused about what was going on or how they disagree with each other, and how they also didn't really want a war, but they knew it was kind of inevitable. Like they had to do what they had to do. I do most movies don't always look at it from the other person's point of view, but I think that was pretty good that they show both sides of it. More so the American side. Obviously, it's an American made movie, but they did show from the Japanese point of view, which was pretty good to show that they weren't just monstrous people. I mean, there was a couple moments where they did, like when they captured Nick Jones, and there's another guy, and they throw him overboard attached to an anchor, and he does. So that kind of shows them, monstrous type of people. Like, but there's other points of the movie where it shows them not like that. So, I think I kind of liked how they showed that point of view.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But I really got nothing else to say overall, but it was just a good movie.
Yeah. I think that's gonna wrap it up. We just want to give a quick review. I would say this is a pretty good movie, so if you have a chance to check it out, I would definitely do so. If you like this video, hit that like, give us a subscribe. Until next time.